What is up, guys? I'm not really expecting anybody to actually watch this, but if someone does, cool. I will be uploading it to YouTube, so anybody who follows me on my channel will be able to watch this. I just wanted to give my thoughts on the year in horror. Um, if you are new to this and you don't realize what a fan I am of modern horror, I don't want to turn this into a commentary on that, but I have a award show that I do every year. I've done it for the last 6 years. I'm pretty proud of it. To my knowledge, I'm the only one who does an annual award show for horror, for the genre. So if you are unfamiliar with that, type in the Golden Horn Awards on YouTube, and you can see the last 6 years of award show where we do everything from best actor, best foreign film, best indie film, best gore, best cinematography, and of course best picture. So please check that out, and you'll get to really see how strong modern horror is. Because ultimately, what leads me to want to do that award show in the first place is when I hear people say they don't make great horror movies anymore, which is completely false to me. Um, if you're going strictly based on Hollywood and their productions of horror films, I completely agree. But if you say there's no great music out there, um, that's like saying that, and you're only going by music that's on the radio or something that's on the Grammy Awards, or if you say that there's no good places to eat, and you're judging that strictly based on like going to Applebee's or chain restaurants, you have to look just a little bit for fine art, and it's out there, and there's a lot of it. So anyway, I don't want to turn this into a commentary. You guys, if you know me well, you know I love modern horror, and there's plenty of great modern horror films out there. So 2017, felt compelled to do this because really I've seen a lot of people whose opinion I really value, and whose opinion I'm aware that they're very cognizant and appreciative of modern horror, and they follow it. So even people under that description who I respect their opinion, I've seen lots of those people kind of diss this year in horror. I think something that could lead to that sentiment, I think, is intentionally or subconsciously comparing it to the last 2 years. Which, if you watch my channel and the award show, I've said a couple of times that 2015, that year in horror, was, in my opinion, one of the greatest individual years in horror history. Not the greatest, but one of the greatest individual years. Followed up last year, 2016, with not quite equally as amazing, but another fantastic year. So we've had two amazing years in a row, and I guess subconsciously we would just kind of like compare this year to those last incredible years. So I would say I would agree that it's definitely has not matched those last 2 years, but you have to fairly look on it at its own subjectively, and kind of just put things in perspective and just view 2017 as 2017 and not compare it to previous years. If you do that, I think it's been a very good year. So just avoid all the promotions, the trailers, the bullshit, quotes, wade through all the hyperbole, and just watch as many films from this year as you can, and I think you'll come up with a better opinion of the year. But anyway, so I run my mouth enough. If you see my eyes divert away, I have a few things written down so I don't forget, because my memory is not that good. But and of course, leave comments if there is anyone out there right now. Leave some comments on your thoughts on the year. What are some of your favorite films? What films disappointed you? And again, this will be on YouTube either tonight or tomorrow. I will say this: if this film right here, if you can, I don't know, you probably can't see that very well. February, aka The Black Coat's Daughter. This was nominated for Best Picture on my award show last year. But I know many of you will consider this one of this year's films. I bought this is a foreign release from last year. Therefore, it was eligible for my awards last year. But if you do consider this from this year, and this is the first time you've seen it, this is definitely one of the best films of the year. Again, I had it up for Best Picture last year. If I had it up for Best Picture this year, honestly, it would probably win right now if the year ended today. Fantastic atmospheric, slow burn. If you're not into that stuff, you probably won't like it very much. But awesome film. Again, The Black Coat's Daughter is the American title that came out on DVD this year. This is a French version from last year. So I just wanted to mention that film. So I got a stack of some films that I wanted to recommend from this year. I'm not gonna. I'm not. I guess. I hope it's working. Yeah, I see people commenting, so I think.
I was just checking.
I do have a pile of films. I'm not gonna, of course, play spoiler and blow my load before the award show at the end of the year. So I'm not gonna like tell you guys all the films that I've loved from this year. But I have a nice little stack of some films that I haven't really heard much discussion on. I do want to mention one film that I've seen on many people's lists. I love looking at other people's lists to see their favorites of the year. I know a lot of people have done it like a top 5 so far. One film that I've seen on a lot of people's lists and a lot of people's lists that I really respect their opinion. And please comment your opinion on this film. That is the production by, I'm gonna forget it. Is it Jordan Peele? Correct me if I'm wrong. Really cool comedian. I like him very much. His film Get Out. Saw it in the theater. Was happy to support it. Conceptually speaking, I thought it was really cool. I love bringing in race into a horror film and racism, and so I thought that was really cool. But the execution I didn't like very much, and I'll say it right now, it's probably not going to be up for any awards. Maybe Best Actor, because I thought the lead actor, I don't know his name, but I thought he was actually really good. Other than that, it's not going to be up for any awards on my award show. But I just think it built up. You knew where it was going, obviously, right from the start, which is fine. We don't have to always be surprised with things. But I think it eventually, the final act to me became really generic, uninspired, and then punctuated by a buddy ending, which was really lame to me. And I think it really alienated the vibe that they were building up. I was expecting something a little more visceral. And it fell flat big time for me. And like I said, to me, that totally killed the vibe of the rest of the film. And sorry, I'm switching arms here because my arm's getting tired. I'm not used to this live stuff. So yeah, I think conceptually it was really cool, but I just think it fell really flat at the end, and I just hated that buddy end. I thought that was really lame. Yeah, it's cool. There's some people here, which is cool. So yeah, I'll get to this little stack of some films and give my quick opinion on them. Indie film, Bag Boy, Lover Boy. If you've seen this, let me know your thoughts. I thought this was a really cool, low budget film. It has that like grimy late 70s, early 80s New York City, exploitation grindhouse type film. But it actually wasn't as exploitative as I thought it would be, which is fine. It doesn't have to be, but not as sleazy, I guess, as I expected it to be. But really cool. The lead actor was such a character, and yeah, I just had that great New York City grime feel to it. Pretty ambitious for the budget, and a lot of things were filmed, on the streets of New York, which was really cool. So, big recommended low budget film. I could see that being nominated in that category on the Hornies. Here's a film that I've seen a lot of people bitch about, and go figure, it's actually a big budget production, which this would be one of my surprises of the year, because I had very low expectations. That's A Cure for Wellness. The director of the first couple Pirates of the Caribbean movies actually directed this, which is funny. But yeah, low expectations, but I checked it out, and I actually thought it was fantastic. For a lot of people bitch about this, saying it's plot's nonsensical and just kind of ripping that aspect of it, but I think that's crazy because some films aren't meant to be. I mean, go watch a David Lynch film. Not everything needs to be, not everything needs to make sense, and I think it's just a fantastical, old school. Actually, honestly, guys, this reminded me of a modern Universal monsters type, Universal horror film. This could have been back in the 30s and 40s. It totally had that feel to me, of course, a big multi-million dollar budget scale, but it was shot in Switzerland, so it had a Euro feel to it. The location, the very it was shot in a cool massive hospital, so the architecture was great. It just had a great grand feel to it. a lot of homages within the film, which I'm actually surprised more horror fans didn't appreciate, or at least aren't giving enough appreciation for. I mean, there was like homages to, besides the Universal monsters. Trying to think, Clockwork Orange maybe a little bit. I saw a Carnival of Souls homage, in my opinion, anyway. Um, I'm forgetting a lot of them, but it's just, to me, this was like basically a giant $30 million B movie. And even like the ending reminded me. I usually don't like, spoiler alert. I usually don't like happier endings, as I just said with Get Out. But this one made sense because it actually looked like a lot of the old, many films from back in the 40s and 50s, even some of the 60s, and especially the Gothic Euro stuff, ended with like the heroine and a girl like running away from a burning building. I mean, they happen often, and I thought that was really cool. So I don't know. This was such a huge, beautiful surprise for me. It had a lot of demented stuff to it, but great imagery, gorgeous cinematography. It just had that big time feel, but with a lot of old school homages. Yeah, so that was a huge surprise for me. That I'm even more surprised has been, I don't know, kind of put down by a lot of people, horror fans that I've seen. An indie film that I really loved. I watched it somewhat recently. Let Her Out. Sorry if you can't see these artwork very well. I see Hope. Hello there. You loved Cure for Wellness. That's awesome. Great to hear. Yeah. Let Her Out, indie film. I believe that Black Fawn Films is putting this out here in North America. I'm not sure if the DVD is out yet. I think it is. There's also a UK release. This is a German release. I like that cover. I don't want to get into plots too much, but highly recommended. Some good gore, good colors, low budget film, but done very well. Two actresses in it, really cool. Highly recommended, guys. Check out Let Her Out. Definitely one of my favorite indies of the year. Here's a foreign film. Just kind of trying to show a bunch of different stuff, various budgets and whatnot. Niecy, I'm not gonna try to pronounce that. Yeah, man, pink case. I had bought a pink case for like really cheap, and I was waiting for the right movie to put it in, and that fit very well. So I appreciate that you saw that sexy pink case. Yeah, this is really cool. Spanish horror film. Again, I don't want to waste time on plots, but if you want to check out the trailer, check out the plot, see if maybe something you'd be interested in. Really cool film. Pretty demented. Cool location. Good performances. Pretty short film too. I actually wish it went on longer. This is one, The Snare, one of my favorite another one of my favorite indies of the year. This was a surprise too. I mean, atrocious cover art. What else is new? Yeah, very, pretty visceral film. A group of friends, essentially, they get stuck in an apartment high rise, and they can't get out, and they slowly lose their minds. They run out of food. It's kind of an isolated building, so like no one's going to be there for a while, for like a couple months or something. But anyway, they slowly lose it. Good performances, really cool final act. Fairly brutal. Really cool film. Do I watch trailers? I do watch trailers, not like all the time, but I just try not to put too much into the trailer. As far as like, I won't not watch a film because I didn't like the trailer, and I won't only watch a film because I like, you know what I mean, because I like the trailer. But yeah, anyway, did you see that he said Highrise? Is that not right? Here's another one, another indie one that I haven't heard too many people talk about. Sunchoke. I know this was at one point streaming on Facebook. I don't know if it still is. This actually has, if any of you guys are fans of the show Freaks and Geeks from back in the day, a big fan of that show. Pretty much majority of the people on that show went on to some big things, as we know. Unfortunately, this actress didn't. She played, I think it was Millie. She was kind of like the nerdy friend. Shelly said, "Notice me." Hi. Hi. You have been noticed. Moods, what's up? You had problems with the snare. You know what the biggest thing I did dislike about the snare? I'm sure Moods, you noticed it. They totally ripped off like one of the coolest sounds from the great French film Irreversible. If you noticed that, kind of like that drony, like spinning club rectum sound, like blatant rip off. But I guess if you're gonna rip off something cool. But anyway, so yeah, she played. Is it Millie? All right, in Freaks and Geeks. Yeah, she's the star of this. Haven't really noticed her in anything else. She's no James Franco, I guess. But really cool seeing her starring role. She was fantastic. Barbara Crampton also has a leading role in this film. It's basically just, for the most part, just the two of them. And Barbara Crampton, who's been in a lot of horror lately, which is great, is like her caretaker. And Millie, I call her Millie. She has some mental issues, some physical issues. Kind of a slow build, but I love the final act of this film. Has a little bit of brutality in it. Well shot, cool minimalist score. Really liked it a lot. If it's on, if you have Netflix, and it might still be on there. Cool. Without Name, really cool Irish film, I believe. If you like a lot of the foreign films from last year that I spoke so highly of, that were very, last year was such a great year for atmospheric horror films. If you're not really into that, you probably won't dig this film, but if you were into films last year like Shelley, Evolution, February, films like that were really methodical and atmospheric and dark, you'll really love this one. This film is really, it's a kind of a guy who is he's doing research, so what his exact profession is. He's a land surveyor, very relatable job, right? So he goes out, he rents this cottage, and he's got to do his work. And it's one of those things, he slowly starts to lose it. So it kind of has like somewhat of an Edgar Allan Poe type feel to it. And it's very lyrical, it's very poetic, slow moving, but great atmosphere. It has an actress that I love from, she was in a film called In the Dark. It was that vampire film from a couple of years ago, and she was the lead actress. She has a big part in this. So good performances, but yeah, great thick brooding atmosphere. Love the ending. Check it out if you're into that stuff. Hopefully you are. Here's a film that I just saw a few days ago, Transfiguration. I've heard some praise for this film. I've heard comparisons to Martin, the awesome Romero film, which I think is spot on. Of course, like the quotes will compare it to Let the Right One In. I guess somewhat so. I mean, let the Right One in the Ghetto. I've heard someone say that, which I think is pretty funny. But yeah, well acted, just a creative vampire film. I think there's actually been a lot of creative vampire indie films over the last several years. I could do a whole show on that. Maybe I will if you guys would be interested in that. I could, just off the top of my head, name probably close to a dozen awesome modern vampire films that are kind of like creative and unique, and this would definitely be one of them. Love the performances, and this one was just sometimes homages to old horror when you can tell that the director is a big fan of horror. They'll throw a poster in there, someone's room or something, and it can get kind of gimmicky, maybe, if you say that. But I loved all the homages in here because you could tell there was so much passion involved with those homages, and they're actually like relevant to the story too, which is kind of cool. Like it was all vampire references. The lead actor, this young kid, who was really great. He had like a pile of VHS tapes, and everything was vampire, vampire films, and like Fright Night and some other ones, even like a couple of Euro ones, which was really cool. Larry Fessenden, who is awesome. You guys like him in, underground horror. He has a very small cameo, but if you think of it, he had a great modern vampire film that he starred and directed in called Habit. So I don't think that was unintentional by the filmmaker. There's a part where the kid is actually watching the vampire film I just referenced in the dark. So it was cool to see a reference to another modern vampire film. So yeah, just a lot of cool homages. You can tell the director is not only passionate about horror, but passionate about vampire films. And it's yeah, just to me a really creative vampire story. I love the performances. Um, yeah, I loved it a lot. What are your thoughts on this? Let the Right One in his top 5 of the 2000s for me. I don't know if I would disagree with that. It's definitely one of the best. Um, what's on Shudder that you'd recommend? What's up, Scott? That you'd recommend right now? I don't know what's on Shudder. I don't have Shudder. But yeah, that'd be tough to answer. Um, we Are the Flesh. You know what? I actually haven't seen that film yet, which is crazy. What are your guys' thoughts on that film? I know, generally speaking, people say kind of provocative, weird, sex-driven, which is cool. Sorry, I just wanted to reference. Make sure I didn't forget anything. Best Picture nominations. I think this is interesting. I'll mention this. I don't want to give any spoilers. So if the year ended today, I definitely have 6 films that I would nominate for Best Picture. The interesting thing to me is none of those films, I'd say five of those 6 films, I honestly have not heard almost any talk of, which is really strange. And I would say the 6th one, the little talk of it I have heard has been pretty lukewarm, a little apathetic, and maybe some people would say like a decent film. And if the year ended today, the film I'm speaking of probably would win. So if it stays that way, it's probably gonna be my most interesting Best Picture nominations, like that I've had in the Hornies era. So I think that's pretty cool. They're all great films to me, and I just have not heard much talk of them. I'm sure some of you have, but in generally speaking, social media and stuff. So I don't want to like spoil those. And as far as the rest of the year, I think this year is just 2017 is just, I think, come back to normal. The last couple of years, I know a lot of you would agree with me. We're coming off a couple incredibly strong years, as I've said a million times. And I think this year, how would I describe 2017? I don't consider it bad or mediocre, which I've seen some people say. I think it's just normal. And normal for a modern horror year to me is very good. And I think by December 31st, this will end up being a great year because, honestly, guys, I have about at least 20 or 25 films coming out in the next couple months that I have written down that I have high hopes for. High anticipation for, and you guys know I don't go by streaming, so these are films that are actually getting somewhere in the world a tangible release. So that I'm not even, as someone who doesn't really go by streaming releases, if I went by that, there'd be even more, including the Texas Chainsaw Massacre film, which I seem to be one of the few people excited for that film. I love those directors so much, and I thought the trailer actually looked really cool. But anyway, Shelley said talk about American Horror Story. I did watch the episode last night. I thought it was really cool. I know some people are bothered by the political side it's taking, but I say if there's any chance to blast Trump, especially with a horror angle to it, I support that fully. Plus, I love Evan Peters. He could do anything. Did I see Raw? I haven't seen Raw yet. It's on that list I speak of. It's probably going to be one of our... if you don't know, we have a annual Halloween marathon, and I actually would like that to be one of our headliners, which is a new horror film that we've yet to watch, and I think I might save that. JP, what did you think of Raw? Hope, that's cool. You're excited about TCM. I knew you would. You got great taste. What did you guys think about American Horror Story last night? I thought it was a really cool episode. Clowns are always cool. Yeah, so I mean, guys, there's a ton of awesome films that I'm really excited about coming up in the next couple of months, which is always like usually how it happens. Like September, October are always very heavy on releases and stuff. The Untamed, I know, is one I'm really excited about. They remade the film, really obscure horror film called Unhinged, and I'm actually excited about this remake that's coming out. There's that film with Marilyn Manson. I forget the name of it. It's like Make You a Martyr or something. Kind of excited for that. There's several though, a lot of indie stuff, a lot of foreign stuff. But guys, keep scouring the earth for 2017 horror. Like I said, of the 6 films that, if the year ended today, would be nominated for Best of the Year. Again, very One of them I've heard talk of, and the other five, honestly, little to no talk from. So that's just, I think that's interesting. Um, yeah, I'm actually doing something right. Cool, awesome. Halloween marathons are the best. Yeah, guys. So I mean, I gave you a little taste. There are many films that I could talk about. Peelers I thought was really fun. I just happen to have it here. Um, know the director pretty well. His first film was Skew, which I thought was a really good low budget film from a few years back. It had a lot of depth, like had one of the coolest endings. Like it's an ending that I think went over a lot of people's heads, and I had actually a lot of fun talking to the director. We've remained in contact. I did a review for that film, and he was really appreciative of my review, my honest review. This is his follow-up film, which is a much bigger budget, but this is a fun kind of stripper horror. But actually had what was cool about this film. You think like stripper horror movies, it's gonna be super cheesy, kind of roll your eyes at it. But it actually had like a bunch of really likable characters, well-written characters. This was a lot of fun. Anyway, I thought it was really cool. It's great to see him come back. I hope he keeps making horror films. Really cool director, really cool guy. So recommended that. That one's a lot of fun. Again, I think what really made this though is like really likable characters. That actually reminds me of another film I wanted to mention really quick. On the kind of cheesy level was this was a big surprise for me. It's called, let me know your thoughts, guys. The Black Room. I think that's the name of it, and it starred Natasha Henstridge, who I really don't have any previous allegiance to. I mean, I know was she in Species? I don't remember what she was in back in the day. She had a modest kind of B movie career or whatever. Anyway, she's sexy woman. She's older now, and you can tell she's had some kind of lame work done. But guys, that was like, I think it's on Netflix. Yeah, because I think that's where I watched it. Check it out. It's very cheesy. Cheesy kind of like demonic premise, but what I like to see from cheesy films is like some passion, some kind of from the actors. It's a B movie, but the actors all seem to relish in their performances, which was really cool, including Natasha Henstridge, which was really cool to see. I thought she was really great in it. So check that out. Just a really fun, kind of mindless cheddar film. But yeah, I thought that was really cool, really pleasant surprise. But there's a lot of films I could mention. I got a big stack here, but yeah. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, and if I post this on YouTube, please comment. Give me some of your favorites from the year, some comments and stuff. I appreciate it. Moods, you like Peelers? Awesome. They use a local beer from awesome. Mark, what is up? Do you think it will be good? It's a good question because I actually, generally I hate remakes for the most part. I mean, there's some really cool recent modern ones. I love the Evil Dead remake. I love the Maniac remake. But generally speaking, to me, remakes are pretty shitty, especially when they remake foreign films, which I think is really lame. Generally, those seem to always be really bad. But I don't have any I'm not passionate about the original film. I'm not a huge Stephen King fan, believe it or not. And that particular film, while Tim Curry was really cool in it, I don't know. I thought it was like an average film. I actually don't even own the original It, which is crazy. See all these movies back here, and I don't even own It. So I don't really have any ties to the original that would like piss me off to see. So I'll definitely check it out. I'll definitely check it out. But yeah, I'm not like excited for it, but I'm also not mad about it either. There's another film I'm actually really, Old Dark House 4K transfer this year. Paul, I know, man. Is there an exact date? Because I'm so excited. If you guys are fans of Old Dark House, one of the greatest horror films of all time, is getting a 4K release, which is really fucking awesome. Sweet Possession. Holy shit, Richard is here. Richard, what is up? What a great surprise that is. That Richard is here. I don't know what time it is there, my friend. I'm gonna guess it's like morning there, or am I just completely off? The book scared me in high school. I could see that for sure. So yeah, I mean, hopefully it's good. I'll probably check it out. One film I don't see a lot of horror films in theaters, but one film I'm really excited about. Let me know what you guys think. This could be a wild card, I think, for this year. Is Darren Aronofsky's new film called Mother! Exclamation point. Actually has who's the actress in it? Pretty big actress. I'm forgetting her name. Someone tell me. from Hunger Games and a million other movies. I'm a big fan of Aronofsky. I think Black Swan is a fantastic Argento-esque modern horror film. I love Requiem for a Dream. In some regards, I kind of consider that a horror film because it's like the horrific side of drug use, and it's just such a visceral, provocative gut punch of a film. Remind me of something Gaspar Noé would make. I love his first film, Pi. What else am I forgetting? But his, Noah was a travesty, a big budget bullshit, big studio travesty. But so I'm looking forward to see if he's going to rebound, because I always thought Darren Aronofsky was such a non-Hollywood director. Like, they're Hollywood films, but he had that indie slash kind of foreign feel to him, where he actually took some risks with his filmmaking. Jennifer Lawrence, thank you, Peter. What's up, Peter? Tarot's for life. So yeah, it's kind of weird, like Jennifer Lawrence in it. Hopefully, cool thing about Darren Aronofsky is he tends to push his actors. If you saw Requiem for a Dream, look what Jennifer Connelly went through. He pushes his actors. Get Black Swan. Why am I forgetting everyone's name? What was the lead actress in Black Swan? God, I just can't think. So I had a long day today. So, lead actress, people help me. Black Swan. What was the lead actress? She ended up. Pretty sure she was nominated for Academy Award. So I think he can push maybe actors out of their comfort zone, which I think is a big part of what a filmmaker should do. So hopefully, it's supposed to be a pretty fucked up film. So hopefully Jennifer Lawrence, has gone places that she has yet to go because of Darren's directing. So I'm definitely excited for it. I just don't know what to expect from it, because he's made some amazing stuff, but he's also made some crap too. So Natalie Portman, thank you, Hope. I can't think of anyone. I can't think of Hollywood actors because I just don't give too much shits about them, to be honest. So yeah, I'm excited for Mother. I definitely want to support it and go to the theater, and hopefully Aronofsky returns, to fine form. And if that ends up being a great film, that'll be really cool for the year in horror. What are your favorite horror Blu-rays of the year so far? Are you talking about like just releases in general? Man, there's been definitely a lot of them. Off the top of my head, shit, I can't anything that Arrow's put out, of course, is amazing. They're always like that. A lesser known, I'm trying to think what's like a great release from this year. There's been a ton of them. I can't think off the top of my head, Peter. You stumped me. Girl from the '70s Show. Is she in Mother? I'm not sure. Yeah, so are you guys going to go check out Mother? Are you guys fans of Aronofsky? Again, Requiem for a Dream is such a visceral film. I mean, that one, having a good friend who overdosed on drugs, that film really hit me hard. But yeah, guys, again, I think it's been a very good year, and I think it'll end up a great year by the time the year is done. Again, I have at least 20 to 25 new horror films that are coming out on Blu-ray or DVD from various points of the world over the next couple months, and I'm super stoked about, and I have high expectations for. Yeah, I guess maybe what would be fun is comment. Again, I mentioned that the 6 films that would be nominated for Best Picture. I'll give some teaser hints. One of them is a foreign film by a director who I absolutely love. It's his latest film, and I believe he's at least been nominated for Best Director in the past. Another film is from a guy who's made a couple other awesome horror films. Trying to think some of the other ones. Another one is a indie foreign film, which I haven't heard anyone talk about. Trying to think of the other candidates. My mind's going blank on them. One is a fairly big production, and then one is another foreign film. But great first time live. Hey, Hope, thanks. Let me know if you guys want me to do this again, or if there's maybe a topic you guys would like to see. It's definitely better for me than posting an episode and having to edit it and then upload it and all that stuff. So I mean, if you guys would like to see this again, if there's something you'd want to talk about together, horror related, of course, let me know. I think definitely open to that. Like I said, there's maybe a modern vampire show. There's so many really good ones, particularly in the indie scene. But yeah, thanks for the you out there that did show up and watch this. I really appreciate that, and hopefully, again, if some of these titles pique your interest, if you're not big on, committing to buying a film, even though you should, because when I say just fucking buy it. A lot of these are on Netflix, or whatever streaming service you go through, or Amazon Prime, whatever it is. But that's what I say. When I recommend a film, I back it up with my wallet. I don't just say, hey, I streamed it, I liked it. I don't get free screeners to review. I don't ask for free screeners to review. I'm not a reviewer. So when I hold a DVD and say I loved it, and say I recommend it, I back it up with my limited income. So, I stand by it with my wallet. So when I say just fucking buy it, I'm walking the walk. Yeah, thanks, guys. Richard. Cool. Awesome, Richard. Mark, awesome seeing you. Chris, what's up, man? Yeah, I'm going to post this on YouTube probably this week sometime. So if you missed it and you're interested, definitely check it out. I appreciate it. And please comment on that video on YouTube on the channel. I would appreciate it. I want to know your thoughts on the year in horror so far. But don't fret, people. I've heard people diss this year. It's just not true. Yes, it's not nearly as great as the last couple of years have been, but they can't always be historical. But it's been another great year. A lot of cool films, a lot of diversity, all budgets. I'm really excited for the Golden Horn Awards. Again, if you've never watched it before, check it out. Type it in on YouTube. The channel is Horror's Ball, and just fucking buy it. Just keep watching. Jason, thank you for that. Let me know, guys, if you want to see another live stream. Give me a topic or something. But yeah, keep watching new horror. Stay scared. Follow me on Instagram. I do a lot more on there. I'm not on Facebook a lot. Usually just like band related stuff and stuff like that on Facebook. I'm not into the whole, bitch about every part of your life post. I'm just not big on Facebook. But I'm on Instagram a lot. I post a lot of new things that I watch on there. So follow me on there if you want. Horror's Ball. Thanks, guys, for showing up. Yeah, I'll post this on YouTube by the end of the week, hopefully, and let me know your thoughts on your opinions on this year in horror. Stay scared, everyone. Thanks for checking in. Later, guys.